Can you please state your name?
Hi, my name is Bob Mtonga from the Zambian Campaign to Ban Landmines and International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War.
Thank you, Bob. Can you tell us a little bit about your country as it relates to landmines and cluster munitions?
Zambia is one of the countries that is affected by anti-personnel mines, a relic of the past. Zambia hosted liberation movements from the then southern Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, South Africa, Mozambique, Angola. So along common borders, we do have mines. Zambia also has been a leader in the region in terms of pushing for total disarmament, and that's how Zambia has been involved in the cluster munitions movement too. So Zambia is at the heart and soul of these two conventions.
And what issues is your campaign working on? What are the actions you're taking?
Yeah, our campaign at the moment is working on two fronts. On the mine ban treaty front, Zambia has a deadline in 2011. So we are hoping that by that date we have demined all contaminated areas as well as destroyed all the remaining stockpiles which have been retained for training. On the cluster munitions front, Zambia has been a leader in Africa, mobilizing, pushing, and leading African states to be part and parcel of this process, making sure that the ratifications, the signings and ratifications are done, and as well as the implementation. So Zambia is mobilizing and pushing, and as such, it's a key country in this convention.
What are the top two priorities for you right now in your work?
Yeah, at the moment in our work, as two top things, we are looking at Zambia meeting those deadlines on the landmine front, but also more importantly is to keep the momentum and the other countries in line along the path to clearing the earth of cluster munitions that cause unacceptable harm to civilians. So Zambia, we are pushing it as a moral force in that sense, as well as a leader, a light, a beacon in the region to make sure that this is done expeditiously.
This is, I think, the second year you've had a Canadian intern working with you. How has having a Canadian intern working out of your office had an impact on your work?
Yeah, this is the second year we have had Canadian interns through Mines Action Canada working with us, and I can say here without fear of hesitation that they have been such a useful resource because we are working in a situation where we don't have resources, working in an area where we are thin on the ground, and we are working as volunteers by and large. So the interns bring in a certain resource, not only human, but they help us save finances, they add value to our work, and they give a flavor that otherwise we could not have learned. Secondly, is that the interns also learn something from us, from another culture, a different environment. So it's a two-way process, and they begin to see, in one sense, the international community and how we can work together and cooperate internationally.
What message would you send to Canada and to Canadians about the importance of Mines Action Canada's work?
Oh, Mines Action Canada has been such a huge help. Firstly, because they have been leaders in both the Cluster Munitions Coalition as well as the Man Ban Treaty. But Canada also is a great friend of many campaigners in the world today. As well as helping us with the interns. I think that program ought to go on, and as such, we are seeing Mines Action Canada as an inevitable, necessary friend, a partner or other friend that we need to work with, and achieve our goals together.
Do you have any message about Mines Action Canada's work outside of the youth program? Anything about the importance of MAC's role on the leadership of the ICBL or the CMC, anything else?
Yes, Mines Action Canada actually is so key because they are also a member of the steering committee of the Cluster Munitions Coalition, management and board of the Mine Ban Treaty, but also because of the Landmine Monitor project, such a useful resource. And we see Mines Action Canada leading that process until the end of our work in anti-personnel mines as well as cluster bombs. So Mines Action Canada has been a true leader, has been a true help, and is a force to reckon with in that regard.
In Canada, we don't have landmines, we don't have cluster bombs. Why do you think Canadians should care about these issues and get involved?
That's a very important question, why Canada ought to get involved internationally. First of all, is because Canada has a great tradition of being an international player. It's a country that has been there, has been helping and pushing. So that's one. Secondly, it's because Canada lives in an international world. There are many issues where we share. We have common ground. We have shared humanity, shared hopes, shared fears. So the absence of mines in Canada does not mean the world is safe or Canada shouldn't get involved as such. Besides, we are traveling, Canada is involved in peacekeeping missions, Canada is involved in other efforts, international efforts, and as an international player, with that tradition, that history, Canada has a great role to play and is a true leader, a very neutral leader, accepted by many and seen as the face of diplomacy internationally.
Why is it important for you to be involved with Landmine Monitor?
Oh, Landmine Monitor, that is a great book. First and foremost, the Landmine Monitor is a mirror of the Mine Ban Treaty, and soon will be a mirror of the Cluster Munitions Convention too. So it shows us. Secondly, is that Landmine Monitor helps us compare progress in a standardized fashion between region and region, country and country, so we see where we're going. Thirdly, it helps us monitor the treaty as such. That's why it's a Landmine Monitor. It shows us clearly where we are, and I think it's a resource that we can use to make us plan, evaluate and inform policies and practices. So it's a very, very useful resource.
What impact has the Landmine Monitor reporting on Zambia had on your country, on your government?
Well, the monitor has been very, very helpful to Zambia as a government, because in it we see what progress other countries are making, where we are lagging behind, how other people have done things, and how we can copy and implement. So Zambia uses that book as a measure of its own progress, but also sees herself in that book where they ought to do better. Without the monitor, Zambia's progress could not be measurable in any meaningful sense. So the monitor is very, very important for a country. It has a lot of impact, and it's a book that is read and believed as a go-to resource, as an authentic record of things happening on the ground.
You're amazing, Bob.